Hey guys, so I just picked up this zinger for free. It was my buddy's dad's. I've seen it sitting outside for years and I've wanted to ask him about it, but I kept forgetting to. So I finally did today, and I was asking him if he would sell it, and he said that there's a lot of the motor missing and all that. I said I'd still be interested, and he ended up giving it to me. So yeah, you guys can check him out. It's VSP Technologies. He makes a lot of cool stuff. He's a manufacturer. He makes off-grid houses that run on their own power, mine Bitcoin, and have built-in computers, so you can work from them too. And they literally cost, like, you gotta buy them, and then they cost nothing to own. Like, after that, no electricity costs or nothing, and if you're off grid, it's just completely free to have that. And they're pretty nice, so check them out. VSP Technologies. And yeah, but this thing, the only really time I looked at it, just because I just got it here, I was making a TikTok to fucking, promote the YouTube, make sure people can actually find the video. And so basically what these are is it's pretty much a PW50 motor, right? It's got the oil injection, I believe that's oil injection. It's got the shaft driven, it's got the same carburetor output, all that, but it's a 60cc instead of 50. But besides that, they're identical, really. It's even about the same weight as the PW50, believe it or not. So these are the smallest two-stroke three-wheeler ever made. I know that. Possibly the smallest three-wheeler in general ever made. Only thing I can think of that's even close to in size is the yt60, and I think it's a little bit bigger. But it's still insane because it's a two-stroke. But because the top end's been missing for years, the bottom end's all locked up, or it could just be the snow, but either way, it's fucked. So I might just swap in a little Chinese motor. Only problem I see is the shaft drive. I would have to figure that out. The ATC70s pretty much bolt-ons to put a Chinese motor in there. Same with 110s, I believe. And but this is a little bit different. So what do we have going on here? What is this? So this is, I believe this is the silencer. Your exhaust comes down here, up in this. This silences it, or whatever it does. Maybe it's to make less pollution, but it's lady, so I doubt this. And then your exhaust comes out of here. So I'm missing the header and the top end and the carburetor, but I might have a PW50 carburetor I can use depending on if my buddy's ordering a new one and if it's savable. But for the most part, besides motor-wise, shit like that, but body, tires, plastics, seat, all that kind of stuff is there. So it might be savable. The plastics are in decent condition, better than most full-size three-wheelers are. It's just, that's it, and then that right there I'll zip tie up or something before I start running it. And I know how to restore these all fucking... I will steel wool or SOS pad them, and then I've got, where is that stuff? Right here. It doesn't even freeze in the winter. I don't know how that stuff does. It's probably because it's all chemicals, but it's 40% paint thinner, 60% boiled linseed oil. Make sure it's boiled linseed oil or the paint will come off the plastics. But basically that stuff gets rid of all the oxidization, which is what gets rid of all the coloring. Try to do a time lapse or something of me pulling the motor out of this thing. And then it's gonna go inside, let it defrost, see if it turns over after it defrosts, gets all the ice out of it. Even if it does though, I'm at least gonna have to split the cases and check out what's going on, but the bearings are probably fucked and everything for water being in there. Hopefully I can fix it as cheap as possible though, because I don't have money. That's why this thing's still here. I can't afford a CDI for it because I already put a brand new coil on it. Can't wait to get it going if I ever can, with how much money it's going to need for such a little thing. But apparently, once they're all together, they sell for about 900 American in decent condition, which I could get this thing to decent condition. Obviously, we'll have little bit of cracks in the fenders, but not too bad. And I'd say probably, I remember from my PW80, bottom end kit was about $200, I believe. And then I already checked it out, $80 for a cylinder, piston, all that stuff, and a head. So that's a pretty good deal. Just the bottom end is the part I'm worried about, but I might not have to buy a kit. I might be able to make my own gaskets and go to Bearing King and get new bearings without spending the hundreds of dollars on something I could probably, honestly, like the gasket paper is going to be more, but I'm not going to use all of it. And then bearings, probably $50-$80 in bearings, and then let's just say $50 and let's just say $130 instead of a couple hundred. We'll look at what the prices are. If it's $150, I'll just order that, because it'll give us all the proper seals, all the proper bearings, no worrying about making sure it's the proper bearings or whatever, making sure I cut my gaskets properly. But then we're also going to have to test if the oil injection works, because that, this thing, you can't go over bumps and shit with it. I mean, like, just like all 3-wheelers, suspension isn't there at all in the front end, and these forks are a pain to rebuild. So I'll probably just leave the forks blown, and then there's no rear suspension. It's such a small thing. I'm just gonna fucking ride it to school probably. I'm also building turbo pit bikes to ride to school, and I'm putting the turbo on my dad's mini chopper, which all of those are gonna be 110cc Geo or Tao engines. So I've already got a lot of machines that I'm gonna be building this summer just to ride around on the roads, because I'm gonna put street tires on those pit bikes. One's gonna be mine, one's gonna be my friend's. But it's whatever. Like, it's fun to have these machines. And this one I can ride around anywhere. I can let little kids ride it. Well, they're pretty powerful, but I can try to let little kids ride it. Honestly, I feel like these tires would hold air. At least the back right one. Oh. Wait. I think all these tires might hold air. That would be something if they do. But I've wasted enough time. I'm going to have to edit this so much because of how I've already wasted 10 minutes fucking talking about shit that doesn't even have to do with this machine. So let's just get to the time lapse right now. Okay, so far I took out the top bolt that goes right here, and I have loosened off the 2 mounts down here. Before I take those out all the way and take off the shaft, I want to put something under the motor to support it so it doesn't slam down to the floor and get a hole in it. So let's see what would be the right size to do that. Honestly, I'm thinking this K-litter thing, or does it have, it's got stuff in it. This is what I use to pick up oil off the ground. But should be good enough, I hope. Yeah. Okay, I'll put it back on the time lapse, get that drive shaft off, then take the bolts the rest of the way out. And I think, actually, what wiring goes into the motor right here? Might be easier if we take this tank off, but I think, should we take the tank off? just to get to the wiring and stuff. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna take the tank off. It'll make it easier. Okay, so we got that top one and we just gotta finish taking this out. I wanted to flip it back over the proper way before doing that. Okay, there's supposed to be a washer. Yes, there is. Okay, well, I can't get that with one hand. I'll do that in a second. Now we got to. Well, what do I do? I think we're good. We gotta take these two bottom ones out, and then the motor should be free to move unless there's some nuts I don't know about or I forgot about. Oh, I forgot about the electrical. I forgot to take or unplug the electrical. So let's just see. Okay, so I didn't even think of this because our carburetor wasn't here, so I didn't think there'd be any throttle cables, but there are some going to the part that lets in the oil from the oil injection. Right, you turn the throttle and it activates something in there for oil injection, so I gotta figure out how to undo that. If I turn it out, if I just turn it to take it out, there's still going to be a cable going into there. So that's going to be no help. And then there's also a line from there going into there. So I don't know if I have to take it apart or what. I guess there's one, so a screw, I think it is. So screw there, and then I don't see anything else at the moment, but who knows. Maybe, just maybe, because it does split into two, right? One wire coming from the throttle to this, and this is what splits into two. So maybe if I take this apart, I'll be able to disconnect the wires, but that might solve my problem. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm just gonna take that apart real quick and see if I'll take it out, but the motor's stuck in there right now, so I don't know. I'll unhook that stuff, but it still doesn't solve the problem of the motor not wanting to move at all. I mean, once I have that, I'll take out the kitty litter thing, and maybe I'll just be able to pull it out. So I don't really understand how this stuff is supposed to come apart, but I'm sure if I look up how to change a PW50 throttle cable, hopefully it'll be the same. Basically the same motor from what I know, but it is older than most PWs. So, yeah, but we will figure it out. Okay, So I got the wire out, and basically how I did it, I grabbed these pliers. I think they're circlip pliers or something like that. And I held the throttle open, and then I grabbed the needle noses, grabbed onto this cable right here and pushed it out. That seemed to work. And now it is disconnected from this. So this whole thing can go with the motor as well as this, just to make it easier on me, less confusing. So yeah, I'll see you when the motor's wiggling. So guys, I think I found what was holding it up. This bolt here was hidden from all angles I looked at the machine until now. So yeah, now we might have it figured out. Okay, wait, well, you guys can kind of see, I guess. The motor's loose now. It was that one bolt. That's what was holding it on. So now we just got to flip it around. Oh, this stuff's all loose. What's this? Oh, that's just... what the fuck? I think this was just in... based on where it was on the motor, I'm hoping it's air for the crankcase, not some kind of electrical that I forgot to take off, because it broke. That's odd. I might be able to... okay, so that's for the choke. Well, just broke off or something, but it came off. I'm not sure if I broke the choke off or what, but it nearly just slid off. So I guess maybe the cable was already broken, because I didn't really put much force into it. But yeah. Here we've got the motor all disconnected. Let's see where this line here went. I think there was a hole somewhere around here. This thing inside, I guess. It's you can see it's pretty rusty down there. We might, in part 2, we might split the cases, see if this motor's savable. But yeah, I might even take the whole chassis inside, possibly. I've already got a snowmobile in there. Mom probably won't be too happy if a 3-wheeler shows up now. But yeah, see you in part 2.